Good morning, good morning. Here we are for another bit repairs video. Trying to get these a bit more regular now. To be fair, I've got repairs in every single day of the week, so really there's no excuse for me not to make a video. I've literally just bombarded with repairs every single day. So what I've got here now is, this is a bit of an example of what we'd have to do in a normal day. So this guy sent in 4 iPhones. He's put on the description, we've got a 6 white, an 8 plus white, a 7 white, and a 6 plus black. Now on his description he's put all U2/Tristar not charging. So basically what he's saying is these devices aren't charging. So we've got to try and figure out why. So customer comes to you and says, yeah, I've got 4 devices, they're all Tristar, because that's what everyone thinks. That's what naturally everyone goes towards. They go, yeah, it's Tristar again, Tristar. That is pretty much the de facto answer that you get off everyone online whenever it's remotely comes down to the fact that something's not charging. So that's all you're getting basically is people just saying Tristar. So what we have to do is we have to go a little bit more in depth and find out if it is Tristar. So how do you diagnose if something is Tristar? So that's what I'm going to go through with you now. So it's a nice little collection here. So we've got a load of generations of phones. It's really handy what we've got here actually. So we've got, first of all, we've got device number 1, which is an iPhone 6. You can tell it's a 6 because A, the camera, B, there's no S on the back of it. This is how you tell what devices are. You should notice straight away what a phone is the instant you get it in your hand. So here we are with an iPhone 6. Now how do we diagnose first that this is Tristar? Well, we have box number 1, we have box number 2, then we have our USB ammeter, box number 3. So we got a load of boxes here. All of these can potentially tell us whether this is Tristar or not. Now, I have to say, box number 2, which is ICC Pro, we barely ever use. Box number 1, which is Tristar Tester, use it every now and again. We use it more in the shop front so that we can show somebody what part of their phone has failed. So we can say, oh yeah, look at this, your charging port's failed. Oh yeah, look at this, your Tristar chip's failed. On this one, ICC Pro, mixed results with ICC Pro, to be honest. I find sometimes it diagnoses it correct, sometimes it misdiagnoses. I'd give it a good 50% of the time it works. Not as impressed as I should have been. This guy that released this box literally is a genius for iPhone repair. So, you know, he's made this amazing, he's made this box. I won't say it's amazing. It's okay. It does a job sometimes. But I don't really rate these anymore. What you're looking to do now is try and diagnose it yourself. So I use Power Z. So I use this Power Z dongle. But you need a bit more knowledge. It's not plug and play like you get with these little devices. So this device goes warning, test, pass, fail. This device, warning, pass, fail. This is roughly what the problem is. Or this is roughly what the problem could be. This box here, the Power Z dongle, it won't say pass, fail, all that kind of jargon rubbish. Sorry, not jargon rubbish, all of that clearly understandable garb. What this little box here, let me just peel that off because it's satisfying peeling pieces of plastic off. That's what my daughter says anyway, yeah. So let's try and understand what we're getting from the report on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look here at box. We're going to have a look at iPhone number 1. Now, I've got to be honest, I have cheated a little bit on this first. I know what the problem is with this phone. The other 3, I will say I don't know what the problem is with them yet. So I need to have a look. But this one is definitely Tristar. It's an iPhone 6 classic Tristar fail. So let me come up, let's get Tristar Tester, and let's see what it says. Does it say Tristar's failed on this one? So let's plug it in. Yeah, straight away. Let's flick over to camera... Where on earth is this? Camera 4. Camera 4, you're on the moving camera. Whoa, don't get sick. There we are. So you can see straight away, you can see immediately we've got the triangle on here. It's not very focused, but we got the triangle. I don't even need to run a test. As soon as you get that triangle, that means Tristar's failed. So that's first of all Tristar Tester. Let's move you over to camera number 1 again. Now let's have a look at what ICC Pro says about this, shall we? Let's unplug it, plug it in, push the button. We've got ICC Pro. I will say the battery dies half the time on this ICC Pro if you leave it. Dock flex test, IC test, additional test. What's this going to come back and say? Come on. So there we go. That's come back and said Tristar Hydra OK, VCC main OK. Right. Why does that say Tristar's OK? Tristar clearly is not OK with Tristar Tester. Tristar Tester says it's failed. There's basically a dead short on Tristar. Now let's have a look on PowerZ dongle. I've got another PowerZ dongle here. I've got a few other things. They're blooming expensive little bastards, but they are so useful that you get 2 or 3 of them if you can. I think we've got 3, maybe 4 of them in the whole shop, in the whole workshop. Right, let's go over to camera 4. Boom, that's all the equipment. So what I'm going to do now is unplug that, focus down on this one here. Here we are. There, right, can you see that? Can you hell? There, right. Boom, that back in. Right, if you have a look at that result there, okay, and I'm going to push this in now. I'm going to push the, let's see if I can do picture in picture. Is it that one? Picture in picture on. There we go. So you can see my hands and you can see my mobile camera. So you can see here that I'm about to plug this in and you'll see the result now. So I plug this in. What does that say on there now? As soon as I plug that phone in, this is how we start working out what the figures are. Okay, let's have a little look. So there we are. And we're looking at that. So it's got 5.1 volts here. And then what we've got is it's pulling 0.006 amps. 0.006 and then 4 in a tiny digit to the edge. So that's what this phone's pulling. 0.006. I guarantee to you all the time, whenever a phone is pulling 0.006 amps on one of these PowerZ dongles, I guarantee on my life that this is a Tristar failure. So if that's the case, back to picture 1, if that's the case, why does this ICC Pro, which isn't an inexpensive bit of kit, it's bloody expensive for it does, why is it coming back and saying IC test and it's saying that Tristar is passing when it clearly isn't passing? Tristar Hydra OK, check VCC main. So VCC main's fine. It's always going to be Tristar when you're pulling 0.006 on one of these. So now let's have a look at the next one. Now let's have a look at the iPhone 7 that they've sent in. Let's have a little peek. plug this dongle back in again. Right, plug the phone in. Right, we're pulling 0.013 amps on this. So we're pulling 0.013 amps on this phone. Right, be honest with you, don't know off the top of my head what 0.013 is. It's certainly not charging. It's certainly not going to power on anytime soon, but we'll try and diagnose that one next. Let's see what Tristar Tester does. I don't think from that it's Tristar, because whenever you're testing Tristar, you're always going to get that 0.06. You're always going to get it. So this, we've not got the 0.06, so I'm pretty sure this isn't Tristar. So why do we need these fancy boxes if all we need is a Power Z dongle that will say 0.006, and as soon as it says 0.006, you know that it's Tristar. So why do we need these fancy boxes? Well, makes customers happy. If you've got a shop, makes customers really happy to be able to see it on a screen. But the problem with this ICC Pro is, what if it says it's fine on the screen and you're going, yeah, it's Tristar, but this fancy box says it isn't? Well, you know, doesn't really help matters, does it? So anyway, this one's going through. This is version 1 of the Tristar Tester. This one is. Got this right from the start. We do have version 2 somewhere around here. Oh, there we go. So that's come back actually and said it's failed on Tristar Tester. So we've got there, focus. I've set a fixed focal point on that camera because it kept on annoying me. So number 4, that one, that says clearly, that says fail. So we go more on that. Okay, now it's only failed there on pin 4, which is the MOSFET one. So it's failed on pin 4, Tigris slash MOSFET. I don't think it's Tristar if it's only failed on that one pin. It usually fails on all pins when it's Tristar. Now let's have a look ICC Pro. Let's see what this diagnoses with this beauty of a phone. So this is an iPhone 7, this one is. Back to camera number 1. Dock Flex, it says it's fine. IC test, come on, let's see what IC test says. Anyone going to come on to chat? Really like to see someone on chat. It's not very often people come on and have a chat with us. I don't know why. Some of these bigger channels that we look at, there's loads of people chatting. I'm not sure I could deal with thousands of people on there, but so this came back and said they were all fine. Clearly there's something not right with that phone because it's not charging. Next one, iPhone 6 Plus. Should we see what this pulls first? So let's have a look. Plug in our power and we're pulling 0.000. It's pulling nothing at all on that. Absolutely nothing at all. We're getting draw on that. So what we do, turn the charging cable over. Do we still get nothing at all? Still get nothing, right? Let's try, let's have a little go on this, on Tristar Tester, and see if we're going to get a dock flex failure. It did because it wasn't plugged in. Let's try it again. Okay, so plug it in. Right, so straight away we're getting a triangle. Now to me, triangle says that it's Tristar failure. Let's have a quick test on there and let's see. Okay, says dock flex is fine. So this one could be another Tristar. To be fair though, Tristar usually says 0.006 on the Power Z dongle. So what's going on? Is it Tristar? Is it something else? We're going to have to get some of these phones opened up now because I do only have 1 hour for this video because I've got to open the shop at 9 o'clock. But let's run that one through. Let's leave that. So the iPhone 6 now, this is such a routine repair. Anyone that does Microsoft, if you're out there now and you're doing microsoldering and you cannot fix an iPhone 6 Tristar, then what do they say? What do you say? Give your head a wobble, do people say, and just get this repair done, get it under your belt. You shouldn't be doing more complex repairs until you can do these absolute basics. You know, these are the simple repairs these are. These, back in the day, the iPhone 6 Tristar was like bread and butter stuff. If you couldn't do an iPhone 6 Tristar, you really shouldn't be doing micro soldering. I mean, fair play, you could do filters, you might be able to change a filter, but really you should be able to do Tristar straight off the bat. Just change a Tristar chip and then get that under your belt. So, right, what we're going to do here, we're going to unplug the power for the battery. Let's get that one. So, let's do this one here, next to it. Hope you're all okay with this camera footage. We are on the new camera now, so it's the Sony a6400. This is the one that I've been advised is like the blogger's choice of camera. So this is basically what you need if you're going to be doing YouTube professionally. You know, I did have this before, you know, a little tiny webcam. It's not a bad one, it's a Logitech one, 1080p. You just don't get the quality. You've got to spend, if you're going to expect a serious YouTube channel, you're going to have to spend a little bit to get the equipment. Like the A10 Mini Pro that's down here, this little switching box, godsend. You know, you don't need your PC anymore to do any of the rendering. It's all done on that box. Right, so I've unplugged the battery on this iPhone 6. I'm unplugging the screen now. Okay, so that's the screen off. Battery unplugged. First things, let's have a little look here at what our ammeter says. What multimeter, sorry. So our multimeter. Let's have a little look over here. See if I can show you what's on the multimeter instead of playing around trying to explain it. Let's go over to camera number 4. Don't know whether you can see that. Probably not. Let's have a look over here again. There we go. Okay, have a little peek of that. That says open. Sorry for the little look around the room there. It's all our little kitchen area. So, gonna go on here and I'm gonna go there. We're reading 0.01, 0.02 because that's me touching onto the I'm touching onto the SIM tray and onto the battery terminal negative. So that there should give us a dead short, and it does. On the battery side, we're getting 1.59, which is fine. 1.5, that is a perfect reading on the ammeter for VCC main. Back to this view. So we're getting good readings there. So this one pretty much is going to be Tristar. We've diagnosed, it's coming up with a triangle. It's not powering on. It's coming up with everything apart from this stupid box here. It's not saying it's Tristar. So let's change Tristar and let's prove ICC Pro wrong. And then say, you know, it's come up saying it's not Tristar, and it clearly is Tristar. So, take the board out. Wow, I'm slow at taking these boards out now. I just seriously don't do enough in the way of iPhone 6 repairs anymore. Back when they were literally the de facto repair, you'd be devastated if anything happened to an iPhone 6 that you were repairing. You know, they were worth a lot of money. Probably worth, we literally don't buy them off people anymore. People just go, can you scrap this for me, please? We stick it in the recycling box and send them off to bulk recycling. They go, can you not use it for parts? Not really. The amount of parts we've got for iPhone 6s here, really, we should never be ordering iPhone 6 parts ever again. So, board is nearly out. Again, if you're starting out with this, yeah, feel free, start on iPhone 6s. They're so inexpensive nowadays, and a lot of what's in the iPhone 6, a lot of the technology you'll learn, is in all the newer phones as well. Fair enough, you've not got your double layered boards, your stacked boards, but you've still got chips in there. You've still got worthwhile chips that need investigating. Got this little standoff screw here, just need to take out, and that's it. I've put all those screws in a kind of an order I don't really need, so I know where they all go. Okay, so that's the board out. Right, what we need to do now, we need to get under this shield here. This is where Tristar is. So we need to disconnect this antenna cable here. We'll move on to more interesting repairs in a minute, but you know what, why not get these simple one out of the way first? Right, so this other one, this 6 Plus, has come back and said Tristar's failed. So let's go more. Now that's got a fail on every pin except for number 4. So I think that one, 6 Plus, I think that's Tristar. Now that is where these boxes do come in a little bit handy, because on my ammeter, what was I getting on here? I'm getting 0.00000. Nothing at all. No readings. I'd think that's charger port, whereas I've got a result on this one saying that it's likely to be Tristar. Let's try ICC Pro. Let's see what ICC Pro says about this. Does it actually want to come up and say that we've got a Tristar fault? Or does it want to come up and say that something else is wrong again? Okay. Right, that's on charge, that one. Okay, so what did it say? Oh, blooming missed it. Try again. That's another thing with this. You have to keep an eye on it, otherwise it switches itself off. My trusty Tristar Tester, that'll stay on for ages while I'm doing something and the results will still be there. Okay, so that one says Tristar Hydra OK, VCC main OK. Tell you what, we're getting a lot of OK results on this Tristar Hydra test, the ICC Pro. This box basically thinks everything is fine. Maybe the box is faulty. I'm wondering. Okay, so do you want to join me now for a simple iPhone 6 Tristar repair? Under the microscope we're going to go, and here we're first of all going to remove this shield over the top. So let's go onto this camera. Let's go onto our basic camera. So we don't need any, there we go. First of all, we don't need Microscope to get this shield off. All we need is a nice big nozzle on the hot air. We need to set it to about 360. That board's in the holder. Move the Microscope out the way. And then what we're going to do, is that okay? Is that focused? Yep, we're okay. So we're going to just get some hot air. We're going to heat around the board here, some nice concentric circles. Circle, circle, circle. We're going to heat this area of the board up. All the board. Sound like a train there. All the board. Right, let's have a look. Round and round we go, round and round we go, round and round we go. It's just starting to get to temperature now. So this is low melt solder on this one. So this should come up nice and easy with a low melt solder. There we are, nice and easy, nice and straightforward. Although I have to say I do have a £2.5 grand hot air station. Does certainly make things a lot easier. Right, so we're going to go over to microscope view now. So I'm going to have a look with you at this Tristar chip. So let's get focused on it. Let's get focused on our Tristar, and bang, there we go. There's our Tristar chip. Right, so you'll notice this is the one where they kept on underfilling it. It was classed as a bit of an arse of a chip to begin with because it was all underfilled. To be fair, really doesn't make much difference. Doesn't take long to get off now. So we're going to lower our temperature down. We're going to hammer it down to around about 250. Press OK. Right, we're going to put our targeted nozzle back on again now. So tiny nozzle, and we're going to go in. Right, let's just get rid of some of this this underfill from around this chip. Okay. Getting rid of the gunk from around it. Don't want to disturb any of these other components around the perimeter, around the periphery of it. Okay. This is why we're using a lower temperature, so we don't end up pulling any other bits off. It's gone in nice low temperature. Oh, we just took the corner of that chip off there. Take the underfill off the top of it. Okay. All that. Oh, you'll notice I've just chipped that little component off down there. Don't worry about it, we'll sort that in a minute. Okay, let's get some flux on here. Okay, bit of that on. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to up the temperature again. Going to go around about 350. Got plenty of flux on there. Get our tweezers. Zoom in a little bit more. Get that little dude down there, put him back into position. Okay. There we are. Lifty lifted. Got him up there. Right, that was no problem at all. See what we did at the same time there? We got that little component that was nudged off, got that back into position at the same time as taking the chip off. So you want to try and save a bit of time here. Right, let's get our tip. Let's get the right tip for the job. I'm going to go with a tiny tip now for this one. Get a bit of solder. And we're just going to clean up the area a little bit around here. Tidy the area up a little bit. Okay. Area tidied. Okay, let's get a cotton bud. Swear, I'm sure you all know how to do Tristar repairs, but you know, it's always a nice little it's always nice doing a Tristar. Always nice doing a Tristar. Especially first thing in the morning. To be fair, I think the easiest Tristar chip to do is the 6S Plus. That, I reckon, is the best Tristar chip to do. Reason being is it's well exposed. You've got no metal shield to take off first. So this one we had to take a metal shield off first. 6S Plus, there's just a little paper shield over it. And then the difference between the 6S Plus and the 6S, the 6S, you need to either get underneath the shield or cut the shield back a little tiny bit. One or the other, it's entirely up to you which way you do it on the 6S. But I prefer to cut the shield back a little bit, personally. That's my preferred method. You don't have to, you know. You can get under there still. You can even bend it back a little bit if you really wanted to. So there we go. That's looking all right. That. Zoom in a little bit more. Let's make sure there's nothing around here that's going to get in the way. Well, looks absolutely fine, that. The only thing I would do is there's a little tiny bit here down there. There, got it. Now what can happen, these little bits of black, even though they're not in the way of the chip putting on, if they're around the area, what you can find is it'll dislodge from where it was and then just go and stick itself nicely underneath your chip. So you're trying to put your chip down, you're trying to wait for it to reflow nicely on its own. It just will not go because one of those little bits of black underfill has got itself stuck underneath. So yeah, just be wary of that happening. So there we are, that's all sorted. We just need to put our chip back on again now. So let's just get a little bit of flux on here. We don't need too much, just a tiny bit will do. That'll do, that's more than plenty. Absolutely tons that. Right, so I'm going to put the chip back on again now. Right, let me just go and get the chips. I need to take my microphone off. You're going to hear some scratching sounds now. Hold on. Tristar. There they are. Tristar ICs. Okay, I'll put the microphone back on again. Forgot to put it back on again yesterday. Okay, there we are. Right, so let's grab a Tristar chip. Got absolutely shed loads of them. Right, so here's our Tristar collection. Got our Tristar chips in here. Should always have a nice collection of Tristar chips. Number 3, back over to microscope view. And then we're going to grab our Tristar. And I'm just going to put it down on the NAND. It's where I usually put the chips when I've taken them out of the wrapping. So we're going to grab our chip with the tweezers and we're going to splodge it straight on top of there. Right, job done. You don't need to solder it down. That's fine. I'm joking. You do. I have seen people try and use hot melt. I've seen people putting a chip on and they've literally stuck Kapton tape over the top of it. You name it. I have seen the way people have put these things on. You just really wouldn't even believe it sometimes. Yeah, it's just crazy. Some people just don't understand the soldering side of things. So, right, here we are. Let's get this chip. Tweezer it into position. Okay. Hold it down. There we are. Okay. Give it a nudge in a minute. Not ready yet. That's it. We're done. As soon as you can nudge it and it moves back into position again, then we're done. Right? So, that's all sorted. Let's give it a bit of a squiz with some isopropyl, clean up the board area a little bit, get rid of that flux that we just put on there. You don't want to be leaving the flux behind on the board. Clean it up. Don't be a mucky pup. Causes major problems in future if you leave all of this flux on. All you need is an imperfection in the flux, and then it'll start causing things to go really bad on the board. It'll react with the power components. You know, I'm not one of these that'll clean the whole board up. You know, like I'm not going to ultrasonic this whole board now because I do use no clean flux. But no clean flux should not be an excuse not to do any maintenance at all on the cleaning. So we're there. Let's have a look now. We're going to just put this shield on the back again. I'm going to go back to this little portable handycam. Hold on a sec. Let's get it in view. There we are. Back over to camera 4. That's the one. Move it away a bit. There we are. Right, so we're going to put this back on again. Do we want to test it first? Nah, not yet. That's fine. Oopsies, that was on the wrong way. There we are. So we've got two choices now to get this back on again. You could use hot air, so you could hot air it around there again, or the way I prefer is you go like this. Let's just grab hold of the shield. Okay, that's it. Shield into position. Let's go back over to camera 1. Here it is. Grab a nice big soldering iron. Wait for it to get to temperature. There we are. Squidge, squidge, squidge. Clean it up. Right, so this is how we get this back on again. Let's get our alignment right. And we just go tacking around the edge. Tack, tack, tack. With our nice big tip. Okay. If it's not flowing into position, you can go here, get your flux pen, whatever you use for your flux, roll it down the edge, and now you'll notice you get a nice little bit of smoke, and your solder flows nicely into position. Okay, that's that tacked on that side. Same on the other side. Let's get that one tacked on. I do it like this because back in the day before I had a nice JBC hot air station, you'd be heating the board up. You were always worried about damaging the board with excess heat. You know, this is targeted heat now. This is so it's one of those. You know, back then a little bit worried about it. You get stuck in your ways. You're stuck on the same things that you do. In theory now, you know, I've got a decent hot air station. I could just heat that into position and it'd be amazing. But, you know, 6 and 2 3s, it does the same job. So that's that done. Stick the antenna back down again. Not going to use my good tweezers to stick that down. Going to use my naff tweezers. Got to use your naff tweezers for naff jobs. Stick that antenna back down again. Why is it these antennas are such an arse to get in? Even when you're doing iPhone 7s, I fucking hate doing the little antennas at the bottom of the board. Do you know what? Best way on these to do these antennas, I know I get slated for it by everybody. You go over here, you go straight over your microscope and you flick it into position. And then click straight in. Click straight in. It's so easy to put them connectors in under a microscope. If I could do every single thing in the world under a microscope on microsoldering, or, you know, even just assembling phones and disassembling them, it just makes it so much easier. Imagine if we all had amazing eyes that we didn't need microscopes. That'd be really cool. What would they be like? Eagles. Yeah, it would be like eagles. Wouldn't need microsoldering. We'd all be able to do it. We'd all have perfect eyesight. So here we go. Board's going back in again. Board go around there. So this one, remember before we were pulling 0.006 on this, was it? Do you remember? So 0.006 we were getting before. Let's grab this. Let's plug it in. Okay. And we're pulling 0.12 on this at the moment. Let's plug the battery in. What are we going to get? 0.1. Going to get any higher on this? What are we getting in our results for this? 0.3. Sometimes you'll find the amount of time that these have been discharged for, you will find that the batteries are that discharged. This is actually, you can feel the batteries started swelling. You can feel it underneath. That the battery has got swell to it. So let's grab us an iPhone 6 battery, shall we? And just see. So need to go back over here. Hold on, let's grab an iPhone 6 battery. iPhone 6, iPhone 6. Where's our iPhone 6 batteries? battery for iPhone 6. There we are. Okay, so got a battery for our iPhone 6 here. Okay, plug that in. Nice new battery. Okay, pulling 0.9 amps now. There we go, perfect. Exactly what we were expecting it to pull. But because these devices have been sat in a drawer for so long, then you're not getting it charging. You're not getting that time that you need. So yeah, that is now sorted, that one. So pulling absolutely fine on that, 0.9 on those. Obviously you don't get the old power delivery on these phones. So yeah, you're not going to get it to charge in that way with the 2 amps. So we got that one sorted. The iPhone 6 is done. Right, let's have a look at the next one now. So what else have we got here to look at? Right, let's have a little look what else we've got. We've got a 6 Plus here. So let's have a little look at our 6 Plus, what this one's doing. It said it was Tristar actually, but I didn't believe it, did I? So, oh, I haven't picked my microphone back up here again. Right, so, don't know actually. Let's have a look at the iPhone 7. I quite like having a little look at the iPhone 7. I know I'm flitting around a bit here, but I'm conscious of how much time we got left on this video. So yeah, let's have a look at this iPhone 7. So this is pulling 0.013. Let's just get this one opened up. I'll reassemble that 6 at some point. I won't waste your time on this now because I'm conscious I've only got half an hour left with you guys before I have to open the shop. So let's have a look inside this iPhone 7 now. This is a strange one, this one is. So it's coming up with some spurious results. First of all, I want to check to see if we've got a VCC or a VDD main short as to what the fault might be on this. So we're not trusting what all of these boxes are saying. We're just opening up the box. These little boxes can give us a bit of an indication, but there's no for actually opening it up and doing some proper readings yourself. You know, they're a fair indication, especially if you've got all of them. You can kind of look through them all and make your mind up. There's no better though than actually having a proper multimeter and proper diagnosing it yourself. Okay, so there we are. Get that unplugged, power out, battery disconnected, screen is off. Right, so let's have a look first. We want to see on this whether we've got a short on VDD main. So we're going to grab our multimeter first and we're going to see what our readings are for VDD main. Just got that stuck in the solder there a bit. I'm not going to flick you over to camera views yet. I'm just going to look myself. That one is a dead short. That's supposed to be because that's where it is. In fact, I'll flick you over to here. You'll see a little bit of what I'm doing. And then we're going to measure the other terminal, the positive battery terminal. And we're getting, I don't know whether you've seen that on there, flick by, no you can't see that view. So we're getting open circuit on that other line. So that open circuit, yeah, that is fine. That's what we're supposed to be getting on there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to see if we can get it to power on. So we need to use our bench power supply now. Everything's going to go a bit crazy because I'm switching it on. There we are. Rigol bench power supply, amazing little box this is. It's this one here. You know, there's nothing that can beat a decent DC power supply, DC bench power supply. They will save your life on so many occasions. So this is an iPhone 7 4.7. There it is. There's the connector for it. So let's have a little look. That's switched off at the moment. Yeah, that's fine. Connect the battery up to it. Connect up the battery. Come on. And then we're going to connect up this. So this is the iPower Max. This is that I'm using. Great little device. Will just help us out because I don't have to have a screen on this now. I can get this up and running, and I can see what we're going to pull now on this. So you'll have a little look there. Go up. Let me try and get you into the right camera view. There we go. Right, let's get us powered on. So on. Right, we're pulling 0.001, which is fine. You know, we're not doing anything at all with this. We've got no boot at all on the phone. So let's now prompt it to boot and see what happens. Prompting to boot, 0.07, 0.01, 0.1. You know, this isn't looking too bad, this. Okay. This is looking like an ordinary boot. So this is good. This to me looks like this phone is booting ordinarily. You know, we've got a little bit of current draw there, that's fine. It's fluctuating around, it's not going crazy. It's not going boom straight up to 2 amps. This is what you're expecting as abnormal, is when it does that kind of stuff. You know, this here now, this here now looks fine. This is looking like a normal boot. So let's power that down and let's see if there's something else wrong. Let's see if we've got any pry damage or something like that, which is causing it not to charge. So I think that's a normal boot going on there. Let's follow me first of all to the microscope view and let's have a little peek. Let's see if we can see any pry damage on the board. First of all, let's have a look along. Looks like it's had some work done on it before. It's been heated up. So, can't see anything there though. Can't see anything there. We're normally looking around here. Someone slips on this little screwdriver here at the top. Bangs a few of these other little components out the way. That's it. Phone won't charge anymore. This is all looking okay. Don't see any obvious signs of pry damage around here. So, next step is, this phone's obviously not charging. We'll go back again. We'll see if it's the same now. I've played around with it. I've unplugged the battery, unplugged the charge port, plugged it all back in again. Is it the same as it was? Yeah, it's exactly the same as it was. 0.013 amps. Right, so we're going to have to go and get a charging port now then, to just eliminate the fact that it could be charging port. Now these customers do say, you know, I've changed the charging port, I've changed the battery, I've done this, but you can't really trust what they're saying. You've got to try it yourself just to eliminate it first. So let me just go and get a charging port. Back with you in a minute. Okay. Back over again. Okay, there's our charging port, brand new charging port. Let's go over here. There we are. So, let's get my microphone back on again. Still no one's in chat. It'd be really interesting to see someone in chat. Come on. Okay, so, let's plug it in. Right. Now let's plug in the battery. Now let's see if we get a reading on this now. Let's see if we can get something better than 0.013. Boom, right. We've got 0.3 amps. Battery's obviously dead, so it's pumps that in first. Let's go over to this camera view here. Mobile camera, there we go. So we're pulling 0.9 now. 0.9, absolutely fine. So someone sent this in for a microsoldering repair, right? Someone sent this in for a microsoldering repair. They've told me, I've tried battery, I've tried charging port. Here it is. It's the charging port. So yeah, it is. It's the charging port on this. Got to give the customer a choice now. Do I let them change their own charging port, or do I change it for them and charge them? So I'll phone them up and let them know. I'll say, look, your charging port's faulty. Do you want me to change it? Most of the time they'll go, yeah, go on then, it's okay, just change it for me. So here, back to camera 1, get this unplugged. This is charging port. It's a misdiagnosis by the customer. This one's charging port. Not going to change that live on camera at the moment because we want to try and get through a couple more. Somebody's come up on chat there. Oh, thanks very much for commenting. That's great. Ah, yeah. I'm here, but I'm busy at the moment, watching in between. Excellent. Nice to hear. Nice to see somebody online. So I'm going to put that charging port with that one now. So we know that that one is charging port. So that's 2 down. Got 2 more to go here. Right, 6 plus. That one's Tristar, I think, so I'm not going to look at that one. Let's have a look here. We're looking at an 8 plus now. So iPhone 8 plus. We don't have long here. We've only got 19 minutes left. Hold on a sec. I'll be back shortly with you. Sorry about that, just had a customer at the door, just had to sort that out. Right, give me a few seconds, I just need to make a note on this one because I need to get this one fixed by 10:30. Where's my pen? The lady's just given me the unlock code to do the testing on it, so I just need to note that down. Cool, right, we'll get that one sorted in a second. Okay, so back to this again. Let's do this last one. This is an iPhone 8 Plus, this one. Now, bit strange this. This phone is powering on. I seen it power on before. It came in for Tristar from the same customer, but we're pulling 0.483, so we're getting the charge in. It powered on before. So what we need to do is try and see what the problem might be inside. There's a chance this one could be gas gauge because it's showing all the signs of it being gas gauge. So we're getting it powering on, so it's not a board level short. You know, it's coming on absolutely fine. It's just not charging. Power's going through the charging cable. So yeah, it's a bit of an unknown at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of this one as we have with the rest of them. So let's take off this shield down here. That one. That one. Are you still in view there? Yep, still in view. Right, so let's have a little peek. Like I said, I firmly think this could be it could be gas gauge. I don't know yet. I've not got into it properly. Let's get this ribbon off at the top here. This ribbon off at the top. Okay. Pull the screen off. Battery out. Careful around the battery because we don't want it to be us that's potentially dislodged something. And then we're chasing ourselves around because we're not sure. So let's have a little look under the microscope now. Let me get you focused first. Okay, we're focused. And switch over to microscope view. So what we're looking at here, we're going to have a little peek and we're going to see if, let's turn off that DC power supply. We're going to see if anything's been dislodged around here first. So looking okay. Nothing's looking terrible at the moment. Screwdriver falling on the floor as it does every day. If I can go a day without dropping a screwdriver on the floor, it'll be amazing. Okay, move this back. We don't want it to be us that's potentially dislodged any of these, so we want to be very careful. Okay, there we are. Done that. Now let's tear that bit off there. We're not going to salvage it. Right, so let's have a little look. Zoom down. Those two little MOSFETs are looking amazing. They are looking good. I won't lie with you. I won't lie to you. Right, let's go into diode mode on our DC, on our bench multimeter. And we're going to get red probe on ground. And we're going to measure the two battery terminals. So on this, as you've seen from yesterday's video, we should be getting around about 0.7 something, 0.74, 0.75. So we've got 0.73 on that one. 0.745 on that one. Gas gauge looks to be fine. So let's put the black probe on ground. See if we've got a bit of a short. That should show us. Let's go back over to continuity mode. This one should show us now. Boom, there. That should be a dead short. Yep, that should be 1.3 something, blah, blah, blah. It should go over to open, or it won't be 0.5 anyway, put it that way. So that's that's 1 point something or another, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. We're also seeing here, MOSFETs are perfectly attached. No long screw damage that we're seeing. We're not seeing any kind of components dislodged. So why is this not charging? Why is it only pulling 0.5 amp? Let's have a little look. Disconnect the charging port first. Let's have a look under there. Looks fine. Charging port, that's looking fine. But we're only pulling 0.5 amp. So let's have a look here. Put the charging port back in again. Plug the battery back in again. And let's try plugging it in again and let's see what we get. Let's see what we get on this. So, plugging in the power, bang. We're getting 0.1 at the moment, 0.483. Not enough for a charge. Should be pulling much more than that. This is like a DFU mode kind of current draw, this is, which is really strange. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unplug the battery on this now and see what it changes to. Okay, pulling 0.228. Strange one. 0.224. I'm going to try a battery in this first. Let's see if customers misdiagnose this one. So let's go battery. I'll be back with you in a second. So it's an 8 plus. Right. You've got to eliminate these things, especially since the last one that came back ended up being charger port. Okay, so last one came back being charger port. So, you know, stands to reason this one could be battery. Okay, let's plug the battery in down here. Come on, battery, get in. Right. What are we pulling now? 0.094. Zero point 0.1, 0.094. Not getting good battery readings here. So, a little bit of a strange one going on this. It's actually pulling less now with this new battery than it was before. So my next protocol is going to be, let's have a look at the charger port again. Let's see if that charger port is faulty. So it does look like the charging port's been changed. That's not a genuine Apple charging port. So let's plug in another charging port. So let's come back in a second. We're going to go charging port. So 8+ charging port. This is why it's so important to stock parts. You know, we got all of these parts. We carry at least 5 8+ charging ports. If any of them go faulty, we can always try multiple ports. So let's plug this charging port in, and let's plug in the customer battery now, because we've potentially eliminated it being their battery. You know, it could still be their battery, but anyway, let's try one thing at a time. Charging port now. So have they got another faulty charging port? Bang. 0.067, 0.1, 0.2, 0.4, playing around at the moment with current draw. It's a bit all over the show at the moment. Could flick camera view and show you. Let's go over to Portacam and then we can see. You can see how it's fluctuating. And see how it's fluctuating. It's a bit all over the show, this is. Very rare that you see it doing this. Wouldn't say this is a common fail. This isn't a common failure mode. This isn't at the moment. So pulling 0.2 steady now. Then it's just bumping up a little bit, going down, bumping up, going down. Should we try a battery as well on this? Let's go here. That's not good results. That's not a steady stream of current there. It's a weird reading, that is. Okay. Let's plug a battery in. See what we're going to get now. Right, plug battery in. Boom, perfect. Right, what have we got there now? So we plugged a battery in, plugged a charger port in, and plugged a battery in, right? And we're getting steady now. We're steady. 0.9. 0.962. That's a steady current, that is. You know, that's pulling an amp. That is a nice 1 amp current draw, that is. So, are we to say here now this is potentially charger port and battery? You know, it wasn't working with our battery. It wasn't working with our charger port on its own. But now it is working. Now I've changed battery and charger port. So we've got a good current draw now. We've got a good steady 1 amp current draw. Sorry, I forgot to put my microphone back on again. I'd have sounded a bit distant there for the last 5 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, potentially here, are we looking at this being the charger port and the battery? So you can see here I've got a charger port clipped in, I've got the battery clipped in, and we're getting a good 1 amp current draw now on this. So, you know, I think there we're looking at it being, let's unplug and plug back in again, we're getting a good amp again. 1 amp current draw, that's nice. So there, I think that one, that's coming back, that's telling us now that that is battery and charging port. Now what I'm going to do first is with the old charging port, with the old battery, I'm going to unplug my charging port, I'm going to unplug my battery, and I'm going to measure the terminals on their battery. So on the customer battery now, I'm going to measure the terminals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto our multimeter. I'm going to go into volts mode. So volts DC. Let's see if you can follow me now. So I'm going to go into volts DC. Let's see if you can be moved up to there with this camera. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Camera number 4. So I'm in volts DC now, and I'm going to check this now to see what it does. So I'm going to put black probe on ground. Okay, I'm testing the battery, aren't I? So I'm going to go over to the battery terminal, and I'm going to make sure the voltage across this battery. So the voltage across this battery is 3.4 volts across this battery. Going to test the gas gauge terminals. We're getting 2.498 volts on one, 2.498 volts on the other. So that battery is coming back and testing out okay as far as I can see, but it might just be misreporting. Might be something else going on down there. Let's try then. Let's try and plug back in our charging port, their battery. Let's just try and do that and see what we get. See what results we get now. Okay, let's do that. Our charging port again, their battery. It might be because their battery is not being charged for so long that it's showing spurious results. It might just be a charging port again. You know, we might have another one here that's just charging port. Wait for a little bit now. Give it a bit of charge. Boom, there we are. Now that battery's been on a little bit, it's steadied out. Go over to here, look at that. That is customer's battery with our charging port. Customer's battery, our replacement charging port. So we've got 2 jobs here, which are just for charging port. So let's just go back now and plug in the customer charging port, and let's see if it's not just a coincidence. We have to keep on going back and forth with these things to try and diagnose it. Okay. Yeah, we're stuck again. So we're stuck again now, 0.483. So that's with the customer's battery and the customer's charging port. So we're back to square one again. We're back to where it's failing. So now, the only other thing this could be, I've found before now, is you're getting these results on here, 0.483 with their charging port. It can be the Taptic engine sometimes. So it may not be a faulty charging port. It might be the Taptic engine shorting out because the Taptic is plugged into the charging port. So let's have a little look and see if the charging port is physically damaged in any way. Are there any pins missing we're going to have a look at? So follow me over to the microscope view. Here we are. And now let's see, are there any pins missing on this charging port? Is there any sign of water? No. See, that looks absolutely fine, that does. So for me, I think that may be either charging port or the Taptic engine. We're going to investigate that in a minute. But unfortunately, we have come to an end. I am going to have to open the shop up now. So I think we've found out one of them was Tristar. The other one, the 6 Plus, I'm pretty sure that's Tristar as well. I haven't even looked at it yet. Let's go back to this view. The 6 Plus, we haven't looked at it yet, number 4. I'm pretty sure that's Tristar. We found out that these two here, these other two, the iPhone 7, we found out is charging port. The iPhone 8, charging port. So are we in a situation here whereby this customer's potentially getting dodgy charging ports? They may have a naff supplier. They might be getting them off eBay, for example. They're getting a load of faulty parts. So we need to be letting them know that the bits that they're getting hold of are faulty. Let's have a look at this charging port on this 8 Plus and let's see. It's got the bits on, that's fine. I'm normally seeing on these people getting cheap ones, all of these chips are missing. You know, they're getting cheap charging ports and half of the bits on the charging port are absolutely missing. You know, they're just not there. This one, This again, decent charging port, the bits are there, but it's faulty. They're both faulty. So let's get in touch with the customer. We've got an iPhone 6 Tristar fixed, 2 of them down here, which are just charging port, and 1 more for Tristar, which is likely to be, you know, likely to be a Tristar as well. So, you know, it should be a straightforward batch to finish off now in the next half an hour or so. I'm going to have to open the shop though. So I'm going to try and do this every couple of days or so. So Dr. Eames Peck, yeah, thanks very much. You have a nice day in work as well. I'm going to try and make this a regular thing, so feel free, get some comments going. You know, if you want something else doing, if you want a video on a specific subject, then go for it. Let me know. Put it in the comments, and then hopefully we can get some nice videos going. Been a long time since I was in Chester. Yeah, been a long time since I was in Chester as well, to be honest. North Wales now. So yeah, it's lockdown. Haven't been able to get around. But yeah, thanks very much. It's been really interesting for the last hour doing these kind of basic diagnosis and repair, showing you a few of my tools and that I use. So hopefully I will catch you again tomorrow. Take care. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and go and visit the website www.bitrepairs.com. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.